if you don't have connection and you don't know who to call when you are in distress, you always are found wanting. We live in a country where if your child has to go to school, you have to know somebody and make a call, even though we are told that there's a computer placement system. We live in a country where if you need proper health care and you get to an hospital that belongs to the state, you either stay in the queue too long, or if you have an emergency, sometimes there's a bed and you are told that there's no bed, and then you have to make a call if you know somebody before you get it. You live in a country where we say bail is free, but we do know that when you get to the police station, things exchange hands. We live in a country when they tell you, passport production, everything has been digitalized, but you know that there are still guru boys lurking around. Birth and death certificates, people are still there. So we keep deceiving and lying to ourselves, because the people who are supposed to ensure that these things run without any hindrance or let, they are the very people who are sitting, supervising and watching while others profiteer on your pain and your sorrow. So it's important that you share. Hashtag Johnny's Bar. It's on TV3 New Day. It's on WhatsApp. It's on Facebook. It's on Instagram. It's on Twitter. It's on Telegram. Share. Let them see it. And you see, I was just talking about the Roots ministry and NADMO and all of that. Can you imagine that the swiftness and the speed with which we fixed the Jukwa situation? Congratulations to everybody who worked to make sure that the Jukwa situation was fixed, because my understanding is that it was beginning to have an effect on the UCC, the Yensu, the Amamoma area. It was flooding. So I'm happy that it's been swiftly fixed. I wish that this was the same situation that when the people in Keta, Ketu South, and Logan, when they had their problems, this would have been the same situation that would have given them. The people in Azizanya, when they had their problems with the tidal waves, we would have moved there quickly. There are people still in Keta, Ketu South, and Logan, all those places, who are still asking and begging to be relieved. We are quickly at Apiachi. We are quickly in Jukwa, which is good. I like the swiftness. I adore and admire the swiftness with which this was fixed. Record time. The Temamoto way, record time. I admire the swiftness. Can you imagine if people go to work and they actually do the work that they're supposed to do, like they did yesterday and the day before, and even on Friday? Can you imagine how this place will be a beautiful country? That people go to work and they actually deliver on the work that is given to them in record time. Can you imagine how beautiful the country called Ghana will be? But people take jobs. They sometimes hide behind the political class because they know that the political class also promise things that they cannot achieve. And I am so hurt this morning because Korle-Bu Teaching Hospital, 1923, Sir Gordon Gorgesberg and his team of colonialists, as we like to call them, who we went to tell to give us back our independence. And Danny, bring the sound down. And pray for Danny. Danny is not too well. So Oliver is working with me this morning. So pray for Danny. Danny is not well. Korle-Bu Teaching Hospital. It is flooding. Show them the video, Oliver. Korle-Bu Teaching Hospital is flooding. When it rains, portions of Korle-Bu floods. Korle-Bu, that is our tertiary numero uno hospital. Korle-Bu Teaching Hospital, it floods. The roofs are leaking in certain places. Korle-Bu Teaching Hospital floods. That's a tertiary hospital, Ghana's first, brightest, and best hospital. Korle-Bu Teaching Hospital, it floods when it rains. Korle-Bu Teaching, let it sink in. Korle-Bu Teaching Hospital, that's the standard around the world. Korle-Bu Teaching Hospital, it floods when it rains. That's it. They are collecting water from the ground. Korle-Bu Teaching Hospital. Now, you know what happens in the hospital? Why doctors and nurses and people who work there, they have PPEs, protected, clothing and all of that, because they fear that they may get infections and all of that for people who are affected or people who are inflicted who come to them. Here we are, the place is flooding. So the washrooms are getting flooded, the wards are getting flooded, Korle-Bu is getting flooded, though, Tom. That's what I'm saying this morning. And you know why they will not care? They will not care because when they are ill, bring it back to the studio. They will not care because when they are ill, Oliver, come back to the studio. They will not care because when they are ill, they are the first to pick their passport to travel outside of this country. When they are pregnant, they travel outside of this country to have their babies. So their babies even don't have the citizenship of the countries that they say they have sworn allegiance to. They get pregnant here. Then they travel outside to have their babies. So the person is a member of parliament here. The person is a minister here. The person is a big man in government here. But their children are of other nationalities. Why? Because they have seen the kind of messy future they have created for us. They don't want their children to be part of it. They want to make life easier for their children so that when they pick up, their children pick up their passports, they can travel. And you are busy this morning, you will be supporting. We have to wise up and think quickly. This morning, if you are sick now, you can't go anywhere else. You go to Korle-Bu. You go to Efiankwanta. You go to Konfanoche. You go to Cape Coast Teaching Hospital. Those are Tamale Teaching Hospital. Those are the places you will go to. You will join the long and ending queue. You might be attended to by a doctor who may not be satisfied. Show them the place again, Oliver. Korle-Bu Teaching Hospital is flooding. Korle-Bu has not flooded before. It is flooding now. It's flooding. It's flooding. Korle-Bu is flooding. This is our wake-up call. But you see, they would actually not care about it because, as I said, when they are ill, they don't go to these places. When they are ill, they travel to the best hospitals outside the country. So if Korle-Bu is flooding, where else won't flood? Oliver, pull out that picture for me. The frontage of the children's ward around the Korle-Bu area. Pull that up for me quickly. I want to show you where our future leaders are born. I want to show you where our future leaders are born and where the future leaders themselves will be welcomed into the earth. And you tell me, bring, let me see the picture. So this is it. If you are familiar with Korle-Bu Teaching Hospital, that's the children's ward. Now, I went there with a friend of mine who recently had a baby. We went there on a Sunday. His wife, myself, we got there. Now, look at it. Look at the roof. Have you seen that? Look at the ceiling. Have you seen it? Have you seen the ceiling where our future leaders are born? That's what the ceiling looks like. Korle-Bu Teaching Hospital. Now, I went there with this colleague's, wife. Of course, when you live in a country, if you live in the United States, you go to the best hospitals. You would want to also always choose the best hospital. So we went there. That's where she's been going. First day, Sunday afternoon, we get to the maternity area. Lights are off. Listen carefully. This block, lights off. The down floor, light is off. Aside the flooding, the light goes off where pregnant women are. Pregnant women who are just come, who might be in labor. They are dilating, whatever it is, the terminologies they use. Korle-Bu Teaching Hospital, light is off. The chairs that they sit on, the chairs are supposed to have a backrest. Every good chair, like what we sit on, has a backrest. All the chairs have become like this stool. The chairs in those places, majority of them, had become like this stool. If you take, I'm lying, go to Korle-Bu now. Enter the children's block, what I've showed you. If you get to Korle-Bu, you find it. When you enter, take a left turn. The NHIS office on the right, take a left turn. There's no footrest, the backrest, sorry. The chairs have become like stools. Korle-Bu Teaching Hospital. Now, can you imagine the kind of stress, the kind of disappointment, the kind of hurt and pain? If you're a health official, you're a midwife, you are a pediatrician, you are whatever it is, and you are posted to go and work there, you would obviously accept offers to move out of this country. Because you are a professional in your own right. after having gone to medical school, after having gone to the nurse and midwifery training colleges, after having gone through all of it, you have earned your dignity and your respect and your qualification. But this is where you work. The roof is bad. The roof will leak. Not this particular one, but I've showed you how Korle-Bu is leaking and it's flooding. And it is because the big men and the big women, when they are sick, they don't go there. They trouble us on this country. You don't get it. If you don't get it, forget about it. And it is because we are not speaking up. See, if we all begin to start to speak up, if we all decide that we're going to be speaking up, they will do the right thing. When we all started talking about Jukwao, you see how quickly they fixed it? That tells you that you have a voice, you cannot keep quiet. You have a Facebook account, you have a Twitter account, you have an Instagram account, you have a WhatsApp account. What do you do with it? We all must begin speaking up. And when we start speaking up and demanding, I'm not asking you to go and cause trouble. I'm saying demand for what is yours. Our president of the day, he demanded for what was right for the people, for the masses. Even under military rule, he demanded for what was right. Him, Dr. Nyahota Maklo, Dr. Victor Newman, all of those people, they demanded for it. Kwesi Pratt, Kweku Baku, they demanded for those things. Why have we as young people become perhaps so timid, and even some older people are so timid, we can't demand for basic things, the dignity. And the old people who are septuagenarians and octogenarians and sexagenarians will tell you how, as young people, they went to Korle-Bu with a lot of pride. Show them the leaking video again. They went to Korle-Bu, Oliver, with a lot of pride. Show them the video. A lot of pride. Oliver, show them the video. Today, those places, those same places that they went to with a lot of pride, those places are leaking. Those places in the Greater Accra region, Ghana's foremost hospital, Korle-Bu Teaching Hospital, those same places are leaking. So I want to say good morning to the board chairman of the Korle-Bu Teaching Hospital. I want to say good morning to the chief executive officer of the Korle-Bu Teaching Hospital. I want to say good morning to the Director General of the Ghana Health Service. I want to say good morning to our Minister for Health. I want to say good morning to our Presidential Advisor on everything health in this country. Maybe I'll add their names. Presidential Advisor on everything health, Dr. Anthony Nsiasare, former Director General of the Ghana Health Service. Good morning to you. Good morning to you, Mr. Kweku Ajema-Menu, Minister for Health. Good morning to you. Good morning. Good morning to all of you. Good morning. Dr. Patrick Kumar-Bwaji, Director General of the Ghana Health Service. Good morning to you. Korle-Bu is leaking. Now, if Korle-Bu is leaking, can you imagine other places? Can you imagine other places? Until recently, the Korle-Bu emergency ward had just 40 beds until I think the First Lady engineered a process for expansion and and then we got some more beds. So if you have cases from everywhere else, in Fiankwanta, whatever it is, they end up at Korle-Bu because that's our Ogboro hospital. And your Ogboro hospital is leaking. Where is salvation? The place where you go eventually for help, last, kwata, the place is leaking. And look, pause. Oliver, pause. See, somebody is sitting on the chair, and she has chalked their legs by the what do you call it? By the pillar. So the person who has come for medical attention is now trying to be a weather forecaster, is now trying to be a NADMO official, is now trying to be a Superman. That same person is now trying to be a spider. Can you imagine? The person now is at the gym. The person has come to the hospital, is sick. He has come for medical attention. By force gym, free gym at Korle-Bu. The person is now a weather forecaster. The person is now a NADMO official. The person is now a rescue, a ranger, everything. You go to the hospital to go and get help, and you are now chalking your legs on pillars. Anyway,